Hi there. For this segment of play music from your front porch 2020, I'm actually going to play music from my backyard because the front porch is very car and noisy, and I'm going to play, I can't really play this particular instrument that well yet. I'm still learning it, but I do have a banjo, and I will show it to you here. Assuming this thing lets me. Will it let me? Oh. I thought that I could flip the orientation of this video on the fly, but I don't appear to be able to. I'm reasonably knowledgeable about the guitar, and I'm an absolute beginner with the banjo. This is more about what little I know about them. This is a kind of a semi-modern banjo. The banjo has a long history, comes from Africa originally, and had a long association with slaves, and then just a very long and full and rich history, which I definitely invite you to find out about if you're interested. Some people have strong feelings about banjos because they have a distinct sound, but one thing I'd like to point out about them, this one and really all of them, they are very drum-like. A lot of other, any of these stringed instruments that have a body, and even for that matter a solid body electric guitar, you can tap on them, but this is absolutely a drum with what they call a floating bridge. There are guitars that have floating bridges as well, but you have to adjust this whenever you restring it and make sure that that floating bridge is positioned correctly, or you won't have proper intonation. There's all kinds of running jokes about banjo having to do with, you spend 80% of your time tuning and 20% of your time playing and so forth. And because they can be loud, or have a sound to them that seems to be loud, then they can they can cut through other instruments in an oral way that can be made fun of. They're not everyone's cup of tea. I'm going to just play a little bit because I'm not particularly proficient at it right now, but you can get a little sense of what they sound like. And as I pointed out in the previous video, this is an inviting event, the International Play Music from Your Porch Day. It's not about virtuosity. It's about having some fun and participation. So with that being said, I'll do a very imprecise semi-version of Cripple Creek. And it's very semi. So you get a little bit of a sense of the tonality of this instrument, and it is tuned differently than the open tuning of guitars. It is tuned to G. So if you just play an open chord, you're playing G. And that means the chord shapes are a bit different than standard tuning, what you would be used to if you're familiar with standard tuning guitar, and even various forms of drop tunings on a guitar. It allows for some interesting chromatic possibilities and runs, and there's various styles. Claw hammer, old style. I don't use the picks, although I'm going to learn how to do it. And there's a whole level of virtuosity, various approaches to the kind of folk style, old style they call it. And as I mentioned previously, the history goes back quite a long ways. And it is absolutely an instrument that was brought to the Americas by West Africans and then wended its way up through originally through the Caribbean and then into African American slave culture. And of course, it's had a long association with American bluegrass, and but it also has a strong association with Dixieland jazz. Often they would be played in a series and then even tuned a bit differently, so that they were part of a rhythm section in the days when you needed a fair amount of strings to be able to compete with the sound of horns before amplification. Oftentimes some of those bands would have a couple of bass players just so that you could get, and several guitar players who would play chords so that you could get that sound. And louder instruments such as brass instruments could then cut through that, but then that rhythm section could compete with those cutting sounds, and then the good solid sounds of the drum corps and percussion that would play along with those kind of ragtime bands and earlier kind of trad jazz bands. So it has a very interesting history, and I wish I could play more for you, but right now that's just a little taste, because it's not an instrument that I'm proficient enough with, but hopefully to give you a full range and sample. But you got a sense of the sound, and hopefully it was fun. And get out there and enjoy yourself, play some music if you'd like, and there you go. Happy International Play Music from Your Porch Day.